Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this video we are going to talk about Chainlink. Now, in the previous video I was saying maybe this is going to be an ABC structure. In this update I want to talk about the worst case possibility, suggesting this is actually an impulsive structure on the downside. First, let me ask you this. In a move down, are we going to go down forever? The answer, for me at least, is no. Usually after a very strong move down, we are going to have some type of a recovery phase. And if in this area we see the right structures, we can actually argue this is going to be our final bottom. And from here, we are starting a new uptrend, which is going to continue for quite a bit. And in it, we are going to take the highest side in this region for the first target. So one way or the other, because this is a relatively strong move down in Chainlink, I think it's safe to assume that we are going to have some sort of a bounce back. This is my first point. The second point, in an impulsive structure on the downside, let's just go around here, excuse me, okay? In a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sub waves are going to be like this. 5 down into wave 1, 3, and 5, like this one, and let's also draw it for our wave 5 as well. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have different possibilities. Let's say WXY into 4 and an ABC structure into wave 2. Now let's go on the live chart and see, can we find the subwaves for a proper 5-wave move on the downside or not. So we talked about this before. I think off of the highest side in Chainlink, we are definitely having in this phase 5-wave down, followed by that I'm still going to say this is an ABC flat structure, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe the end of our wave 5 is going to be right around this area, and this point might be the end of our sub wave 4, and then another move down into wave 5. Why do I say this? Because if we're gonna go according to this scenario, well, okay, we can actually have a decent argument for having a complete, let's just take this one, 1, 2, 3 to about this point, correction for 4, and another move on the downside into our wave 5. And again, what happens after a 5-wave down, or generally any kind of a strong move on the downside, a move on the upside. And even if you want to be pessimistic, you can say this move up is just going to be some sort of a retrace, which brings me to this. Even assuming that we are having an impulse in here, as long as we are staying above this important level, I think we can actually be optimistic and say the next move up is going to be a big one, which means we are going to take the highest side in this region, about $31. And I think we're going to go quite a bit higher than that, because we talked about this subject before. I believe in the next phase of the bull run in Chainlink, it is very much possible for us to set an all-time high and take the highest side somewhere around $55. And here is my final point. Again, even if you want to say this is an impulse, then okay, at that point, I think we can argue this is going to be from this point an A correction for wave B and another move on the downside into our C leg. And basically this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is actually going to be the last move down. And when it's going to be over, again, once more, we come to the same conclusion. We are going to start another beautiful move up, because on a higher degree and overall, I fully believe this is an impulse into a wave 1. And according to this thing, to about this point, we can have a correction for wave 2. And the next move is going to be a huge one on the upside into wave 3 and 4 and 5. So overall, whether you want to say in the recent move down in Chainlink, we are having an impulse or an ABC, from my point of view at least, doesn't really matter, because one way or the other, I am still going to argue that we are going to see soon after this move is over a big move up. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Chainlink. And until the next video, have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.